they do still have things like the Sett available, things like Senate. We have still seen Senate outside of just with Karma as well. That could be a priority for this team, or maybe just going for their jungle. We'll have to see what direction. And I do feel like there are a lot of different directions that you can go in the meta right now. But Lulu didn't get banned. kog'maw's available. That could be the option.
And I would definitely expect for IG to go towards this. It'll be pretty interesting, right? Because putting your eggs in the Wink carry basket isn't something we've seen or would even theoretically expect IG to go for. So a lot of pressure going to be on his shoulders as of now. Now we're looking to see if OMG can find ways to punish it, whether it's flanking champions coming in to be able to traverse what we would expect being a heavy front line to get onto that kog'maw and instantly delete him. If they want to try to play from a longer range from the fact that they already have the rumble, so equalizer enables that, and you could just opt into more poke style champions if you did want to. But OMG going with option number one, they want to go all in to punish Wink on this pick.
Yeah, looking to dive into that team with the Sett locked in, likely for new, but we've seen it mid, we've seen a tiny bit. Have we seen support this split? I'm not actually sure if that's true.
We've seen it once.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't entirely sure. I started saying it and then I second guessed myself. Over to IG though, final pick of this rotation. You'd expect probably a jump.
And you know, you still have something like the Udyr open if you just want to opt into having a stable front line. Shun is going to lock that one in. I expect the Sett to be going in the mid lane for Creme. It's actually been played a lot more mid than it has been top thus far, but still it's a flex pick. We doubt OMG are going to want to show their hands, and IG just going to opt into banning supports that want to look for the all-in to be able to shut Wink and Lucas down.
Lucian taken off the board as well as the Nautilus here. IG could look to go for another support ban, something like the Leona, still available, very good on the all-in champions. But one of the weird things is, you know, with Hex Flash still not available on this patch, things like the Alistair do drop pretty significantly in priority.
Oh, definitely. So, you know, there are other things available like the Leona, which don't really require it, but instead going to ban out the Jace themselves.
One thing I will say, Lyric, I don't know if you remember this, but I distinctly remember Cold playing Blitzcrank in the past. kog'maw ain't that great at playing against Blitzcrank. He's very immobile. I would love to see Cold bring the Blitzcrank out again. I don't know whether we'll see that, but it's a thing. He's done it in the past. He's definitely good on the Blitzcrank.
You know, the funny thing is, I remember the game you're remembering as well, and that game was actually against IG, so would be a bit of a call to a recent past. We are going to see IG lock in the Volibear. A bit surprised that they don't go with the Wukong themselves, just for the fact that that has been neny's go-to pick so far. But Volibear, I think, being a lot more potent in laning phase with the trades coming out from your passive, a lot of your base damages are just absolutely insane, and just gives another meaty frontliner for kog'maw to play around. So they are going to save that last pick counter for Rookie to find out where that Sett is going to go. But in the meantime, OMG just keep all inning on engage. So very telegraphed playstyle for them, right? It's going to pretty much come down to like one combo burst team fight where Rell goes in, Sett goes in, you drop the equalizer. If you can kill kog'maw in that rotation, you win the fight, you get the objective. If not, it's looking very good for IG.
Well, it's still to be seen what Creme is going to lock in here, but it is going to be that Akali. We talked about it beforehand. Very, very solid Akali player. Creme is very excited on these assassins. We saw it versus RA already. I'm excited to see what he can do, but he is against Rookie. Rookie with the counter pick goes for the Sylas here, and he's got a good couple of ultimates to steal away. Most importantly, that equalizer is insanely good scaling on the Sylas. He's better at equalizer than Rumble is, honestly.
Yeah, Rookie, definitely an insane Sylas. One thing that jumps out to me right away, though, is that IG's comp definitely very magic damage heavy, right? I was actually looking at the damage breakdown for kog'maw so far in the LPL, and it's about 60% of his damage coming from magic damage. Rookie, neny on the Volibear doing a ton of magic damage as well, so maybe members like New and Cold going to get a lot of value if this game goes later, but ultimately you are up against a kog'maw, Lulu, and a Sylas, so the scaling on IGs feels like it should be able to get them across the finish line. But you know OMG's comp has certain windows they can play around. If members like Akali can find the flank, you can coordinate that with the Sett engage and equalizer on top of it, then you could potentially just burst out the kog'maw in one rotation.
We'll see if they're going to be able to get that done, though, because it sounds doable. When you word it like that, it sounds possible, right? But when you've got a Lulu there, when you've got the rest of the team trying to block this all engage from happening, and this all-in engage, sorry, it does become a little bit more difficult. We'll see if they're going to be able to pull it off. I'm excited to see how this IG squad performs, though, not just here today, but across the course of this split, because when we look at this squad, there's a lot of new faces, right? We've got Rookie there, Rookie actually predates the last time that OMG beat IG. He's actually lost to OMG before on IG, because he joined back in 2015 spring, and the last time they lost to IG was 2016 spring, I believe. So Rookie, he's been around the block on this team, but you got Lucas, you got Shun, you got neny, all essentially in their rookie years. You've got Wink, who's been around a couple of years and obviously was on RNG underneath Uzi back in 2019. But here we go, OMG versus IG to start our day off. I'm excited to see what OMG can bring to the table, because compositionally, I like what they've got. It's just whether or not they can bring this to the table as one of the lower tier teams up against a mid-tier team. Can they prove themselves here on the stage?
And we're definitely looking at their top side of the map, as we highlighted. I think top lane should be a little bit more of a wash, right? We have two very similar tank champions going into one another, both very strong in early skirmishes, both very good at diving backlines, and even setting up dives on enemy turrets. So don't expect too much action to come out there. IG wanting to get some early wards coming out in that bot side, so you know they definitely want to make sure that Wink and Lucas have an easy time early on.
See if they're going to be able to give Wink and Lucas an easy time, because that's one of the things about kog'maw Lulu is, you know, we've talked about it in previous casts. He's not going for the Hail of Blades. So Wink will have a very weak laning phase. Like, the Hail of Blades can cover up a lot of the early weakness that kog'maw has, but with the lethal tempo, it's a little bit more difficult for that. If Rell does manage to get the engage, it becomes very rough for IG. Especially if Creme does roam down there, if Aki tries to make an early gank happen. It's possible, and Aki starting on the top side, so we could have some level 3 action down in that bottom lane.
So both teams realizing with how the drafts panned out, right? It's like we said, two giant meat shields slapping each other in top lane. It's all about the bottom lane. One thing that lethal tempo does give as compared to Hail of Blades, though, right, is that it does also help with your ability to like push the wave, because you get the attack speed, and then you're able to also use that on your minion wave. So one of like the small benefits that lethal tempo does bring over Hail of Blades, so Wink can go with that. We know also much stronger and more potent rune in the late game, where having that attack speed for 3 seconds is a lot more valuable than, you know, just 3 auto attacks. So gonna be keeping an eye on him. So far, we see that mid lane's going as we would expect. Very, I'd say very volatile matchup, but Akali having an easier time in the early game with the available poke being able to come out from your Q. Rookie doesn't really start coming into the matchup until that level 3 mark.
Yeah, we'll see how that's going to pan out. Because the thing about Sylas is, like, as always, both of these champions kind of suck in the first couple of levels, right? They generally lose lanes in the first couple of levels, and then it comes online later on. So both of them being in a matchup where, because the other sucks as well, it's a little bit easier for you. But it does mean as well, as you say, Rookie doesn't have to go for that fleet footwork, can have a little bit more impact later on into the game. It's actually going to go for an early recall here, as Shun's recalling at the same time. Rookie does have the TP, so he could get back out onto the map and force priority to maybe make a play elsewhere.
He also does come back in with a lot more sustain, so going to be able to safely sit in this laning phase, and now having a resource advantage over Creme on the opposite side, so Rookie able to play a lot more aggressively, but Aki gonna run into Shun.
Yeah, Aki and Shun having a little sparring match between themselves. It's going to be Aki that has to back away as the wave crashes onto neny, who really needs to get this minion wave. He can't come and help his jungler, but it looks like Aki just going to back away at the end of things, as once it's all said and done, not too much going to happen off the back of it, and it does mean Shun can just continue to clear through his jungle here. Maybe make a play up towards that top side, but I think Krugs have only just spawned, so I think he's going to just continue with power clearing away. And I feel like IG have kind of changed identities this split. They seem way more reserved, way more relaxed. They're more than happy to just have a quiet early game, scale up, and play towards a late game win condition.
It's been really interesting, right? Because not only like has it seemed more tame, but their drafts, I think, overall, holistically, have had set identities, even if in some games they have been hard to execute or bad against what the enemy has picked up. I think it's a lot different than we saw last split. Like you're saying, they're a lot more tempered coming into the game and trying to play around those win conditions or where they view the enemy as strong. I think this game for Shun, all he has to do is keep recycling through his camps early on, set up defensive vision, especially around bot and mid, and then as IG, you're fine just waiting out some of these objectives. If OMG want to play around some of their stronger early game power spikes, you know, when we start to get Noon Quivers coming out for Abel or hitting first items or using News Prio, I think as IG, you just consistently look to cross map on the opposite side, and you feel fine going into that mid game when both Rookie and Wink will be in a great position.
Shun's toying with the idea of a play on the bot side, but I think he's just hovering more to stop any opportunity from Cold finding an all-in. As Abel looks like he's going to reset on this bottom side, managing to get that sneaky recall off while Cold is in the lane. Means that they don't necessarily know that reset has happened. They're not necessarily going to hard shove that wave. Should have started the Drake. He's going to use the Drake to help him DPS the Scuttle Crab. Look at this 5-head gaming happening right here with the AoE autos. Just going to take the Crab mid-Drake, then continue with the Drake. Did have Prio on the bot side, so nothing's going to actually happen here. It's just going to be the Drake taken by IG with no contest from OMG. So, Lyric, I want to ask. We're talking about certain power spikes. The Noon Quiver has now come through from Abel. Is there a certain point that they're waiting for? Hang on, can neny? No. He's just going to get the win. Is there a certain point that OMG are waiting for where suddenly they can pull the trigger and make fights happen?
I think once we see level 6s start coming out for Aki especially, that, you know, coming into the 8-minute mark for that Herald, OMG are definitely a team that are going to be looking and need to get that one, starting to accelerate on gold and finding advantages early that they can push forward before IG's comp comes online. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, we see OMG's bot lane go for these recalls. Cold already got his. Abel's going to come back on the map, try to fight for that wave prio in bot lane, have Cold move up, look for that fight drop equalizer, and start getting advantages to where you can win. Because I definitely think OMG are looking for now is actually IG the ones being aggressive. Creme does have his Shroud.
I'm not super sure that much is going to come of this one. As Creme level
the
7,
Lulu roll
Munchables? Yeah, I know. Lulu's only level 5 as he's going for the gank, so sure, you could hit a glitter, lads, but really, what is it going to achieve for you? Not much coming out from this one as Creme will just clear the wave.
It's
and I just want to say,
mental game, Munch. It's the mental game.
He's just getting Wink some solo XP. That was what was really going on there. Or he thought he was playing Bard. Maybe. Rookie going in, but the Shroud once again shouldn't coming in to try and support his mid laner here, but I think Creme's going to be fine, just clearing up the waves. And Creme speaking for all mid laners here, as his first item that he's finished is that Oblivion Orb. The amount of sustain that Sylas gets from his Kingslayer, which he usually do max, and you can see it is being maxed by Rookie. Reducing that healing is super valuable. Here we go. Bot Prio has meant that IG can invade in towards this red buff here, but Cold is over the wall, and Abel knows it's going on. Blast going out. IG say, never mind. They're answering. Let's get out of here.
Aki just going to keep going towards that top side of the map. We do start to see pinks coming out towards that Rift Herald now, so maybe OMG going to opt into that one. Is neny's still doing a great job with these trades. I mean, you see the power of the passive coming out. I also think he did get a W off on him as well, so I think now for the side of OMG, looks like New is walking down to start to clear out some of this vision, but with Rookie on a recall, OMG might look to punish Shun in the river, but he's an Udyr, he's extremely fast, and he's going to get away. So almost 9 minutes into the game, still really no action. Both teams have tried. We've seen Shun posture for a few ganks. We saw them try to go for that invade. But the Rift Herald start finally going to come up. Creme is recalling, but he does have his TP if OMG opt into this, and IG do want to try and contest.
Aki pulls the Herald out of vision. Obviously, there is the control ward there, but Aki can just do it a little bit away. Importantly, IG have full information, right? They know that this is happening. They can see where the laners are. Cold roaming up. It looks like it's going to go uncontested, at least for the time being. But Shun moves over. Blast Cone into the pit. Here we go. The Smite fight is on, and Aki realizes it's just going to be a 50-50. Here we go. 900 on it, and Shun takes the Herald. Now fight as Rookie in a 2v1 jumps over the wall. He's going to be followed by Creme, who takes him out with the perfect execution. And now he can shove the wave in as a bonus.
I mean, overall, IG get the objective. They're probably fine with that one, but nice play coming out from both Creme and Cold. Cold was a support who moved up first. It looks like OMG didn't actually expect IG to contest because Cold was just sitting in that pressure around mid lane. They thought, okay, this is going to be free. Shun comes in, is able to steal that one away. They weren't able to take him down, but nice pick onto Rookie. It looks like his TP is either up or about. It actually just came up, so maybe won't miss too much on the XP front, but we'll go into the replay now. Looks like Rookie not sure if Cold is here. Cold finds the engage. Creme able to follow up with the E. Goes in with the R as well. And just nice job also hitting him with the passive in the end. So Creme doing a nice job picking up that first kill. We highlighted this is pretty much Creme's champion. Akali is at the top of the list of this guy is extremely proficient. Akali, Sylas, whenever he's on the Rift, you really want to look out for these two, and he's able to pull off some insane mechanical combos to pick up a lot of these kills. But still, IG are the ones who look like they're controlling the map.
Yeah, so far so good for IG, but that's a nice little pickup for Creme. And you know, you mentioned that Akali, he's got 14 games on it historically. It's tied with his Sylas. And you know, the win rate, 50%, but let's be honest, teams he's been on have not been super high win rate teams, but his KDA on average is over 3 for this Akali. I'm excited to see him bringing that out, and the fact that he's able to take out Rookie. Obviously you've got a Rell there engaging, which the CC chain from Rell makes that a pretty unfair fight, but having the early Oblivion Orb means that Rookie doesn't really get an opportunity to fight back on it. But here we go, Drake up. All of the ults are available for OMG. These are the kind of early game fights that we're expecting their composition to fight for.
Yeah, especially you just hit on the Rell, right? Engage supports being a lot more potent in early game skirmishes than enchanters, but neny's going to be the one to come in first, so OMG have to back off.
Cold stuck over the wall, flashes out. Looks like everyone gets away. In they go, though. Nu just starts the fight off. Haymaker onto 3 people. It's a lot of damage, but they're going down first. It's OMG now starting to take control of this fight as they push 2 back, take 2 kills off of IG, and they look for a Drake for themselves.
And I'm actually really surprised that OMG were still able to pull out ahead. We talked about how their comp should be feeling good about these types of fights right now, but it was very uncoordinated. We see that OMG are the ones going in first, but Nu's getting pushed in the top lane, so he isn't able to start up his TP first. Cold forced to burn his flash, which is extremely important when you're trying to get on the backline with those engages. And then we see here, forced out with the flash, Nu finally coming in with the ultimate. He's completely surrounded. Finds the ult though, and then is able to get a flash into a 3-man face breaker with Haymaker hitting as well. Equalizer was dropped, so that's burning members of IG the whole time. They all get pretty much chunked to half HP right away, and that just left it so members like Abel and Creme are able to follow up and help pick up these kills.
That was a hell of a punch from Nu. That is for sure. That Haymaker across the entire team. I think he had like half of Lucas's health from full right there. But importantly, Creme, these are the kind of skirmishes that he's going to absolutely look. 2-0-1 now on the Akali. He is in a fantastic position. 20 CS up over Rookie right now. Feels like Creme is in position to take over the game. When you look across this composition, like when Creme goes in, Abel is able to dive into the team and follow up on that. You drop the equalizer with Nu and Cold disrupting everyone. If they can get these chaotic fights like that one was, you feel like overall they're going to come out on top.
And Creme even opting into the Hextech Rocket Belt build. It seems like we've seen 2 mythics built so far on Akali. It's been either that or the Riftmaker, but when you think about his role on this team comp of getting onto Wink or Lucas in the backline, taking them out of the fight immediately, it definitely seems like that gap closer maybe being a bit more potent than the Riftmaker, which you wouldn't really be able to stack. You don't want to be able to just stack up by hitting neny and Shun in the front line. So going to opt into full assassination potential. And now with the lead he's found, with the item advantage he has over Rookie, he's very easily able to out-trade him, especially with that Oblivion Orb that you highlighted earlier.
Yeah, easy trades for him. You can see Wink on the bottom side has finished his Wit's End. I nearly called that an Ashes 2. Definitely not an Ashes 2. Finishing that Wit's End, which is, you know, it might look... Oh, hang on, Rookie's in trouble. Creme going for the 1v1 as the rest of IG arrives. Shun trying to chase him down, but Creme gets out with his life. Hey, I love the aggression. If Rookie doesn't have backup there, that's maybe a kill from Creme.
Well, that seemed like a bait coming out from Rookie, right? Because he knows Creme has his full combo available. Brings in the other 2 members. Creme knows if he goes in, he will go down in the end. I'm not sure if he would have been able to trade 1-for-1. Rookie did have flash, but it seemed, you know, potentially outplayable because you still are an Akali, but in the end, does back off, is forced to use his ult to escape. Rookie now will have his ult if he wants to be able to find windows to make plays. Looks like he's going to push out this wave. Creme has TP if he wants to come and contest that wave, but in the bottom lane, Abel just getting absolutely smacked.
I mean, he's 2v1 versus kog'maw Lulu. It's not a fun situation for the Kaisa. There's even an Udyr hanging around as well. This tower surely goes down. As Wink feels like is definitely the focus for IG, right? We've seen Shun hovering this bottom side a lot across the game. Wink will finish the tower off. That's the first tower of the game. Obviously, they used Herald down there earlier as well, so a bunch of plate gold going into the pocket of Wink with the first tower gold as well. So Wink starting to build himself up a little bit of a gold lead, and you can see it's about 800 now in favor of that IG80 carry.
I also want to hit on the fact that, you know, we're still seeing so much Kaisa in the meta because she's actually 10 losses and 7 wins right now. And when you think about how the games are being played in the LPL, it's a lot more about, hey, we're typically leaving our bottom lanes on an island. You're having all these champions come in that do outrange her, the Ezreal, the kog'maw, the Varus, the Jinx, the Jhin. And a lot of these champions offer more in terms of damage or utility later on. So I feel like that's one of the reasons we're seeing Kaisa not have the same level of impact that she did in Spring.
Oh, look at the all-in from Cold. Abel's there alongside him, but Wink buys a lot of time for himself, but Creme has some serious damage to follow up. See you later, Lucas. Perfect execution from Creme. Now he's in a 2v1, though. Rocket Belt's back out of the fray, gets his passive off, and he's just quite happy to trade 2v1, to be quite honest. Didn't even look like he was in that much trouble. Happy to keep on going. Herald now dropped to the mid lane. This should be OMG getting themselves the tower.
2016 summer, Munch. That was the last time OMG were able to take down IG in a series. Rookie still wanting to keep that going strong, but he goes down.
Rookie, what are you doing, my friend? Shun now just sprints it away because he knows his job is done. He ran, he did not stun, and now he's running again. Drake coming up in 20 seconds, and I feel like OMG, they've pretty much got this one in the books. They might go for the reset, though, as you can see Aki just recalling. neny up in the top side does have the TP. If IG really want to contest, I'm not sure this is super contestable, though, really.
Oh, I think definitely not, right? You look at the items coming out across the board. Now Mythic's out for almost every member of OMG. The top side members definitely having theirs. You expect Abel might be pretty close once he is able to reset. For the side of IG, they're just going to go to the opposite side of the map, try and get some gold on the neny. We also did see that Wink was picking up the wolf, so trying to get more gold in his belt on the kog'maw. But now for IG, I feel like it's a game of defense, right? Get down the defensive vision in river or even your own jungle. Try to look to counteract these plays that OMG are going to make. But for OMG, even if they don't find any potential picks coming out with, you know, Aki and Creme hovering around the map with Cold, they can always reliably wait for these objectives to come up. And we're going to go straight into the replay. All of IG walking forward. It seems like they have an idea that Cold's here, but no real peel for Wink available. They're just walking up trying to contest. He gets instantly engaged on. There's really nothing you can do at that point in time. So he gets instantly taken down. Creme with a nice job following in with that E. Does then hit the Q into the ultimate to finish off that kill. So IG, I think a bit confusing when it seemed like they knew that Cold was probably there. If you think about where the enemy team would be looking to engage on you from as well, that brush is pretty much a 10 of 10 target that they're going to be every time, and they just open up that angle for OMG to abuse.
Just feel like so far this is a bit of a shot calling issue for IG, but also great punishment from OMG, right? Creme having an amazing game. Same for Aki. Like, obviously, Rumble not the most complicated champion in those team fights, but at the end of the day, you got to hit the equalizer right, and he's been doing a great job of that across the game so far. 8 Dark Seal stacks for him, has the Night Harvester, and has a stopwatch for the next fight as well. So it feels like Aki is set up to really succeed in the next skirmish that will come up. Abel as well, finishing the Kraken Slayer, already has the Serrated Dirk. So he'll start to head towards that Collector next, very likely, and start to take down players as well. And it feels like Wink. Sure, you've got a little bit of magic resist with that Wit's End, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough to save him in these fights.
Definitely not. I mean, even, you know, the Shirelius coming out for Cold, going to help all their members be able to dive this IG80 carry. And I like that OMG are using their advantage as well, right? They're like, hey, we know we're stronger right now. We can just walk in their jungle, steal away all their camps, get some aggressive vision down on that bottom side, because realistically, Dragon probably going to be the next objective we fight over, even though Baron is coming up in about 30 seconds. IG, though, did decide to cross-map. In the meantime, they did get aggressive vision down on the top side. They were stealing away camps, and they were even to get a bit of chip damage down on the tower. So IG definitely are down, but they aren't out just yet. They are about 2k gold behind, and you would expect Creme is going to take this turret right now, so going to push that forward a little bit, but at least IG aren't doing what I would expect of old IG, or, you know, again, teams like Summer V5 or Top Esports, to where when you're behind, it doesn't matter if you have, you know, scaling champions, whatnot. You doubled down, Munchables. You lost that last fight. You lost that last fight because you didn't play it well enough. So you try to fight and fight again over and over again. But IG, not doing that this time. Very tempered team.
Which is a weird sentence, right? IG being a tempered team. And to be fair, I'm not entirely sure that's super accurate for this game, because I feel like a couple of these fights they should have been opting out of. They should be like, hey, we have a kog'maw. Let's just wait for 20 minutes because he doesn't really exist until you have 3 items.
Right? Tempered compared to what they were before.
That's true. Tempered compared to literally just fighting all the time. I agree. It does feel like they have certainly slowed down their pace, and you have to wonder, like, there is the big question of IG of, like, you know, when the Shy comes back in. Obviously neny's been having a fantastic performance, and in terms of performance alone, I don't think that's how this decision will be made between the Shy and neny, right? I think it will be made on who impacts the team more in terms of communication and things. It does feel like the team has slowed down pretty dramatically without the Shy, and it makes me wonder how the shot calling works within IG, and whether the Shy is actually one of the people in the early game that is calling for so much edge.
We also need to remember, though, that they did a coaching change, right? So even though nofei isn't there with them as of now, to my knowledge, still probably coaching with them, you know, online in scrims, helping them out, so we don't know how much of an impact that's had. But we're seeing some action coming in on top side. New going for the engage. Aki does have damage, but this turret's still up, so they can't opt into this. But all of OMG's members are hovering towards the top side of the map, which means that this is a free turret for the side of OMG. And especially when we look at builds, right? neny, of course, going for the Divine Sunder. We've been seeing this a lot more in Volibear. Sett, of course, going with the Stride Breaker. Again, these aren't different builds than what we've seen, but they still, I think, tell a story of the roles of these compositions, right? New, it's not about the damage trim. It's about getting in with that Stride Breaker, getting in with a nice face breaker on the team, setting up for the rest of his team to find that burst. For neny, he's trying to garner a bit of side pressure, so IG does have more room to play around, more room to get vision on the map, to extend these games and get their carries in a good position.
And I feel like the timing on that play as well was really nice from OMG, right? Where you go for that top lane tower. It's about 40 seconds before the Drake is going to come up. So you can move everyone up there, guarantee the tower, everyone resets, buys new items with that extra gold that you just got for yourself, and now you move over towards this Drake that would be the 3rd Drake for OMG if they're able to get it for themselves here. Importantly, Creme onto items.
They're being sneaky, Munchables.
Oh, they're hiding in the brush, and now they're looking for the fight. Cold goes in onto everyone. Showstopper over the backline. Abel flies across the screen. The equalizer's beautiful as well. And it's an easy fight for OMG. IG caught with the pants around their ankles, and it's an easy Drake for OMG.
And this game from OMG has been so nice to see. Again, when they're invading around their prios, getting deep vision in the enemy jungle. We've seen them pushing out side lanes well. And that cheeky play in the brush with Cold and New waiting there to find the engage onto multiple members of IG. They know both Creme and Aki can follow up from a distance. They get the picks, and now this should be a Baron for them. Shun, though, does have Flash. He does have Smite, so there's always possibility of a steal coming out. But still, you don't have a lot of members of IG here if that does turn into a fight.
And Creme's like, oh, Shun, you want to hang around here? Let's 1v1, bro. I'm 403. I got 10 Dark Seal stacks. I'm happy to take you on. Baron getting exceptionally low. Shun is... Oh, wait.
Oh!
What just... Was that the W that stole the Baron? That is unbelievable. And now over the wall, Creme is going to be locked up. The stun comes through, and Rookie gets the shutdown. OMG, they had everything, and it's all just falling apart.
Yeah, was that the E? Was that the Sky Splitter that took the Baron? IG, this game should not be won by IG, should not be playable at IG at this point in time. Suddenly IG are even in gold. It looks like they're actually going to get ahead in gold from that play. This man is earning his keep, Munchables.
Oh my god, neny, you absolute beast. I'm speechless. I need to see a replay of what just happened there, because if that was actually the Sky Splitter that stole the Baron that will keep IG in the game. Look at the gold difference. They are even slightly ahead at this point. We're going to look at the replay from this fight. We already know how this fight went. Take me to the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, right, this fight's very straightforward. They waited in a brush. IG thought they had the safety to go on the dragon. Guess what? 2 members are there. They both have massive engage, and they get on top of you. But I'm with you, Munch. I need to see what happens with this Baron, because me and you were so fixated on Creme being able to zone them out of the pit. Yeah. We're going to see here. Oh, my God, it is.
It actually
He got it with Sky Splitter. He got it with the Sky Splitter, guys.
That is unbelievable. That is actually unbelievable. I can't.
That hurts. That hurts for OMG.
It hurts my brain, is what it hurts. All right, 9-3. 3 Drakes, though, still for OMG. But they are now down in gold. I think they were like 5k gold up before that Baron play. Huge swing in favor of IG. Also, bunch of stacks lost on the Dark Seals across the squad from OMG. They are still in a fantastic position, but also simultaneously look at Wink's inventory. He's just hit 3 items. This kog'maw is starting to come online. He's level 13. A lot of damage now available for the side of IG. And honestly, just the fact that this is going to slow down the pace for OMG so much, having to play into this Baron instead of having it for yourself, that alone is such a huge thorn in their side.
Especially when IG do have this kog'maw to utilize as a siege tool to hit turrets, to where, right, you don't actually have a ton of wave clear coming out. You have an Akali in the mid lane, you have Kaisa AD, and like, sure, Kaisa has decent wave clear, but up against Baron minion's going to be quite tough. Unless Aki's just sitting there dropping equalizers, then IG should feel fine just sitting in front of turrets and sieging them down and saying, hey, OMG, if we're right in front of you, if you can't find those same flanks or flash engages, we feel comfortable taking that fight, especially with Wink having items like you talked about, picking up the Immortal Shield Bow, so is going to have both sustain and that lifeline passive, and not opting towards the Gale Force, which I feel like is what we saw the other day when we casted kog'maw, when it was Viper on it, wanting to go for more of that mobility to dodge out on some of the engage. I think Wink accepts that if Creme wants to get on top of him, he's going to have a very easy time doing it. He just needs to be able to survive that initial burst. And with the lifesteal, with the lifeline passive, with Lulu right alongside him, it definitely feels like he should be able to if OMG can't find the same level of coordination that they found in every other engage.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like the amount of mobility and lockdown on the side of OMG. Realistically, a little dash from Gale Force, that ain't saving you. Maybe the shield will be enough. We'll have to wait and see in these fights, but I'm still kind of reeling, honestly, Lyric. I'm still kind of just like mind-boggled about the fact that this game is as even as it is as we head towards the Dragon Soul. OMG already with 2 oceans here. In 30 seconds time, this Drake could win OMG the game. This could be the tool that they need to close things out. Look where Cold is, though. He's got a big flank as he's over towards the blue buff of the enemy. New jumping in alongside Creme here. Cold trying to find his way in, has complete vision control of that side of the map as well, as Abel's going to be able to clear the wave. Creme has to back away over the wall. IG does feel like they have a good position, but we've got to keep our eyes on Cold.
Yeah, and the thing is, so IG actually don't have any sweepers up. They do have control wards available, but they definitely should start placing some of these on the flanks. I like that IG are being conscious of this and looking at their flanks. Cold going to be forced to run away.
Yeah, he's going to be smited by Shun, actually. That could be a bit of a disaster. Does have 2 stacks. It's going to be available in about 5 seconds, I would guess. So should still have it for the Drake. I was a little unsure on the decision to use the smite there, but he's got 2 stacks. It's okay. Scuttle taken. Now over to the Drake. This feels incredibly tense for IG. They know they can't afford to lose this Drake. This time they're going to ward that brush because they already lost to that earlier on this game. They're not going to lose to that twice in one game.
And look at what IG are doing, right? They're constantly checking for flanks because they know, hey, this is how we've been losing all game. This is the way that we lose team fights. If they come into us front to back, they feel confident that they can win, and neny's going for the engage.
There it is. Drake's already taken. Neny can back away if he can, but the showstopper in there. Oh, the haymaker on everyone. It's a beautiful combo from OMG. That is how you make a team fight happen.
And this is a new team, Munch. How do they find this level of coordination every single time? They need the place to be just like this, and they're hitting on every note. gonna take down 4 members from the side of IG, once again opening the gold lead, and death timers might be long enough for them to end. Oh my god.
I can't believe he got away with that.
Oh,
It doesn't
neny's
matter
holding
at
the
all.
wave.
Oh my god, neny's holding the wave. IG, they will not say die. It's a beautiful fight from OMG, but they don't even get an inhib now. neny trying to escape. Both bears are too damn fast for OMG, but Baron is up. This will be the consolation prize for OMG. They never got the soul. They got the team fight. They couldn't push mid. At least they get a Baron.
I mean, that fight much. I mean, that fight just leaves me speechless. Again, the level of coordination that OMG are able to use, just like the mechanical ability to be able to layer all those ultimates and abilities on top of each other. We're going to see here, IG were the ones to start off with the engage. We're going to see Showstopper into Cold fighting his engage at the same time. Equalizer comes out, Haymaker layered on top of it as well. Creme jumping in at the same time. This team just so united with that engage, able to take out the bot lane of IG instantly. Rookie then left in an awkward position. And once again, OMG are the ones in control of this game. And right, you even look at how the play was set up. IG were very conscious of what they need to do. Hey, we can't let flanks come down. We're going to keep checking for vision. We might not have sweepers, but we have control wards. But it doesn't matter. OMG still find the angle. They had the summoner spells to be able to execute, and they were able to get it.
Creme's in trouble here. Jumps off the wall. Cold will back away as well as neny. Trying to make a dive happen. It's not going to, though. Blast cone out to safety. OMG keep himself safe. We'll be able to defend this tower. You'd expect neny can threaten the dive. He is that Volibear equalizer over towards Wink here. As the Void Seeker goes in as well. Abel dives onto the backline. There's Creme alongside him. Can they finish off the kog'maw? Easily is the answer. Easily. Another fight for OMG as they just shatter IG, scatter them to the winds, and looking to take a victory here in game number 1. Rookie desperately trying to survive, but there's a beautiful little snipe from Abel to grab himself a triple as OMG march this one home.
And the amount of mobility in this composition to be able to just get past the front line of IG and find their way onto key members was key for OMG being able to pull this off. Shun left alive alone. I don't think he'll be able to save this. OMG are just going to truck forward, and they're going to look to break that streak of losses to Invictus Gaming.
This is going to be the way that they do it. They barrel into the base. They've got the minions. They take down the Nexus. It's 16-3. IG, they stopped them for a while, but OMG step up on the stage and prove that they are no longer a bottom team.
And it's nice to see, right? Players from the LDL coming in and stepping up. Creme definitely having an exceptional game, but even the way that OMG were able to set a lot of this up, right? Typically, our bottom teams in the LPL or teams that were bottom teams in previous splits, they come in, they don't really have a good foundation of like, hey, you know, when we push waves going into the enemy jungle, setting up vision, setting up our side waves before coming into an objective, especially not the level of coordination that they had in those team fights specifically. And OMG just checked a lot of boxes this game and realized, hey, this is how we find advantages, this is how we push our advantages further. And right, when it did look dicey, it came down to a bit of a lucky moment for the side of IG stealing that Baron, but OMG were in control the whole way through.
neny knew exactly how much damage was going to hit the Baron at exactly what moment. It was perfectly calculated in his head. Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. And look, the Baron stopped the momentum. And I was really worried that Baron would be like, okay, you can't snowball really hard now because we took the Baron instead of you. Maybe that slows them down enough. And we talked about the kog'maw itemization, right? Maybe this shield bow shield would be enough to help him survive. Not even close. Not a hope. The Wildgraph, everything from Lulu, but just drop the equalizer on him. In goes the Akali, in goes the Kaisa. It felt like there was absolutely nothing we could do to survive. I think you need to build the comp more around the kog'maw to be able to fight against this level of assassination.
So what you're saying is you want the Ivern, you want the Galio in the mid lane, you want Taric in the support. Taric top lane, you know, like get everything in there to keep kog'maw safe, but no. Yeah, I think overall it's just really nicely executed by OMG. In the very early stages of the game, me and you were questioning like, hey, are OMG going to start doing enough to push their way forward? We expected it to be around that level 6 mark when Aki got access to his equalizer, and that's really when they did start to accelerate the game and realize like, hey, again, IG can't really walk into us. They were doing a great job of warding. I think their vision control overall was also MVP level for the fact that, hey, IG were almost always walking into areas that OMG knew. OMG's brush plays, which they pulled off twice to find the engages, were also massive. But look at this damage coming in from Creme.
It's so exciting to see this rookie popping up. And it feels like when we're looking at this IG roster, it feels like Abel and Creme, very, very good carries. And when you set Aki up, New up, Code up to be these facilitating roles, to be the ones that can make sure that Creme and Abel are able to succeed. I need to stop saying the word Abel in sentences where the player Abel exists, because it's getting real confusing. But it feels like this is a formula that can really work for OMG.
I mean, Aki's equalizers as well, right? Those were absolutely beautiful. Me and you have seen some pretty questionable equalizers over the first week of LPL, but almost all of Aki's on between 3 to 5 members on the side of IG, burning them down, setting the team fight up for success. Just, it's really hard not to praise. Like it feels like you have to praise everyone on OMG because you saw moments from all of them where they set up something beautifully.
And to be honest, like when you're talking about, we've seen some questionable equalizers and all of that. Let's be honest, going into a game with OMG, this is one of the teams I would expect that kind of thing from. But you said it right during the game. The level of coordination on this squad is exceptionally impressive. Like, these all-ins are so synchronized, right? When you see the set going and you see the equalizer fall at the same time, like so often you'll see equalizer used really early in a fight. Feels like the rest of the team wasn't ready. Not at all in this game from OMG. Cold with excellent engages on the Rell as well, constantly hiding in the brushes and finding those surprise opportunities. So I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised by what we get to see here from OMG. I'm hoping that they can pull that out for a second game. If this is the OMG that we get to see for the rest of the split, I'm suddenly excited for OMG, and I didn't think I'd be saying that for Summer 2021. We're going to jump into a quick break. We'll be back with game number 2